I sat in the third row, cap pulled low, diploma folder balanced on my knees. The crowd roared as another name was called. Not mine, not for me. My hands were steady, my smile deliberate, because I already knew they weren't coming. I'd called the night before. Mom had sighed, said they were exhausted and probably wouldn't make it. Dad mumbled something about supporting your brother instead. My brother, who had just scraped a D in his final semester of high school. Apparently that warranted a backyard barbecue. Apparently that was worth more than the degree I'd worked 6 years for. I remember when their approval mattered. When I was 9, I won my first writing contest. Dad said, "That's nice, but your brother scored 2 goals today." Mom nodded, eyes already on him. When I graduated high school at the top of my class, they told me I was showing off. But when my brother passed summer school, they bought him a car. I thought college would be different. I thought earning something they couldn't ignore would finally shift the spotlight. I was wrong. The moment it truly sank in was an hour after the ceremony. The graduates had spilled into the courtyard. Families hugged, cameras flashed, flowers changed hands. I sat on a cold stone bench, diploma in my lap, watching strangers take the pictures my parents should have been in. Out of habit, I checked my phone. A fresh notification lit the screen. Instagram. Mom had posted a photo. My brother holding a paper plate of ribs, balloons in the background, Dad grinning behind the grill. The caption read, "So proud of our boy. He worked hard, and it paid off." Hard? He'd barely worked at all, and it paid off for them. I didn't cry, not anymore. I just sat there, smiling at the screen while something inside me went cold. That was the moment I decided they would never get the chance to forget me again. My plan wasn't rushed. I gave it time to breathe. First, I stopped sharing my life with them. No updates, no calls. When Mom texted, "How's work?" I replied, "Fine." When Dad asked about my plans, I told him I was still figuring it out. I was already figuring it out, just not the way they thought. Then I started building my own circle. People who saw me, valued me, mentors, colleagues, friends who'd fought for their own place in the world. And slowly, I made myself scarce. Holidays? I was busy. Birthdays? Can't make it. They noticed, eventually, but by then I'd already built my exit. The real move came 2 years later. I'd landed a promotion that came with relocation, a new city, new job, better pay than I'd ever imagined. And with it, control over my own guest list. I announced it casually in the family group chat. "I'm hosting a small dinner before I leave. Would love to see you there." They replied instantly. Mom sent heart emojis. Dad said they were proud. My brother joked about finally visiting for free food. I booked the most expensive restaurant in town. Private room, curated menu, champagne waiting. The night of the dinner, they arrived dressed like they were meeting royalty. Smiling, hugging, acting like we'd always been close. I let them. We ate. We laughed, lightly, politely. I spoke about my new position, the city, the opportunities. I watched their eyes widen as I mentioned the salary. Then I put down my glass. "I want to thank you," I said. My voice was calm, measured. "For teaching me something important." Mom tilted her head. "Oh? What's that?" "That I can do everything right," I said, "and still not matter to the people who are supposed to love me most." The room went still. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I just looked at them, one by one, letting the silence bite. "You didn't come to my graduation," I continued. "You forgot. But you remember to host a party for a D?" That told me exactly where I stood. Mom stammered. Dad started to speak, but I held up my hand. "It's fine, truly, because that was the day I stopped needing you." I slid an envelope across the table. Inside was a printed itinerary for my move, my new address, and, at the bottom, a note. "Please don't contact me. This is goodbye." They stared at it like it was a weapon. In a way, it was. I stood, smoothed my dress, and left them sitting there with their untouched champagne. I didn't look back. That was 3 years ago. They've tried to reach me. Calls, emails, letters sent through relatives. I don't respond. They see pieces of my life online, filtered through what I choose to show strangers. They don't know where I live, who I love, or how far I've gone without them. Sometimes I think about that day on the stone bench. The sound of other people's cameras clicking. The weight of my empty hands. And then I remember the look on their faces when they realized they'd lost me for good. That's the picture I keep. The one where I'm finally free.